There we are. We are live. Hello again, Amy. Good morning again. Good morning again. Good afternoon. Now, I'm kind of waiting to see if Audit goes live because they don't have a Zoom feature for this. Oops. They don't have a Zoom feature. They have a call in, and if I need to call in, hey, Agus, how are you doing? How's TE today? They have a call in, and so I might be able to just put it on speakerphone. But if not, I'm kind of waiting for Audit because she's supposed to be there. Hey, Long Island, New York, how are you doing? I'm so not used to calling you Mini Minion. Mine are over here snoring too. So yeah, the board of the fire commissioners, you can't call in to comment. That's an in-person only, but I really wanted to hear it. I don't know if Audit's going to actually stay for the whole thing because she really wants to be at the police commissioners, and that's a couple of blocks away. Okay, Minnie, thanks. I'm just so used to it. We can call you Liney. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work at all. I like Minnie better. But she wants to be over there, and Bike Guy wants to be here at the fire, so I think they're playing who's going to win. But I definitely want to get a call in to the police. Hey, Style Audit, the police commissioners meeting. I want to be one of the first ones to raise my hand. So, like about 10 after, I'm going to start poking my head into that. Yeah, no Zoom on the fire commissioners, which I thought they did the last time, but maybe not. Maybe it was just audits we were on. All these meetings start to get... Nope, she's not live yet. They start to get blended together, that's for sure. Especially with such a high profile, the fire commissioners. But yeah, I'm going to start peeking in on the LAPD one. I doubt if they're going to start it this early. But what I am going to do is I'm going to put it in on my computer here. Yeah, they haven't started yet. Cancel. Download now. Join from browser. My additional. I found that works. To join on the browser. Okay, so we'll pop that so that way when they do, we will get notification. Oh, I got a notification about myself. All right. Very cool. I don't get notifications about anybody else half the time. Nope, she's not live yet. So the host hasn't even started the webinar yet. From a poet, Brian, good morning. Hi, hippie chick. You know, I don't know what their protocol is, but that's something that I'm speaking on today is their protocol of how harmful their protocol appears to be. And I missed somebody's message. Okay. Hey, Rib Guy. Hi, doesn't matter. How are you doing? How's Rib Puppy? Hi, DT. Hi, Sue. Good morning. Oh, Audit is texting me. What is she texting me? Audit is asking, what is the update on the girls? I don't want to give misinformation. Unknown. For the LAPD, here I'll give you the link to the I'll just give you the link to the Zoom. Copy link. Here is the link to the Zoom. Do you want the agenda? Hi, James Steele. I was just taking lapdog as it was. It's so much more appropriate. You're welcome. Do you want the agenda, Miriam? Hi, Gail. Thank you. Thanks for the replay. And loving you, Gail. Thank you. Yeah, so there's the Zoom if you want. Hi, Stephen. Couple hours south of me. Let me go back to, because the Fire Commission one is just kind of a watch as we go. But the Police Commission is huge today. And they only take 45 minutes worth of testimony of comment. Audit, we're still not live. So in fact, I want to go to open it up on my browser too. So that way the minute they open it up, I can raise my hand. Because you got to be quick. Join the webinar. Okay, so we're in there. We're testing it there. All right. No, it's they haven't opened it up yet. For Mustache Cop's name? I don't know what Mustache Cop's name is. Yeah, but remember, Rib Guy, they're only going to do what animals only do what they're able to do. She's not going to come to you. She's not going to get up and walk around unless she can. They don't fake it. So, yeah, maybe. But animals don't fake it. If they can't do it, they won't. Yeah, she is a great looking dog. Pure heart. That's for sure. Okay, so let me go back to Audit and see if Audit is on yet. Audit, girl, you're making us wait. She's not on. Let's look at messages. Nope. Audit, quit texting me. Just get on. You silly goose. Audit, my stream is waiting for you to go live. Are you at Fire with Bike Guy? Sorry, I can't hold the computer. Text. Talk. Uh-oh, she's still on the train. So she probably won't be going to the fire. Yeah, I think MD is also. I think Matt is going too. But I don't think to the fire. So let me call in to there to see. I'll just call on my phone. And 213. Really? I hate it when they put number or letters on there. 818-904-9450. November 5th for the City Council meeting, scheduled for 10 a.m., press 1. For the Planning and Land Use Management Committee, scheduled for 2 p.m., press 2. For the Trade, Travel, and Tourism Committee, scheduled for 2 p.m., press 3. For the Board of Fire Commissioners, scheduled for 9 a.m., Well, we're in conference to listen to the fire commissioners. I don't know if they'll do any good. This is really hard to hear, you guys. Hi, Kirby's mom. Hi, Tandra. You know what, you guys? I can't even hear it. I'm just going to hang up on the fire commission because we can't do public comment anyways. Thank you, Kirby's mom. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support, and we support you also. Yeah, Amy, I got hacked out of my IG page. I can't get into my IG, so I can't get into anything. Somebody hacked my frickin' page and changed my password. So, saying that, if you see me posting anything on my IG page about an Only's fan or Only's fan page or something like that, it ain't me. It's not me. Just saying. Unless I'm getting lots of money for it. Then if I'm getting lots of money for it, yeah, it could be me. Hey, Peter. I think she wanted to know what's his IG name. OnlyFans. Adam, that's for you. Don't make me laugh, man. That's funny. I know, I sent it to her, Peter. I already forwarded it to her. Yep, that one got forwarded right away. So thank you. Thank you very much for that, Peter. I don't know if she got it. She's been on a bus and then a train and then another train, and I guess things are really slow. Yeah, it's definitely something for her to consider. You know, being part of a solution is 1,000 times better than being part of a problem any day. So if you can get face-to-face interaction with a group, with the government, with the business, with other friends, family, when you can get face-to-face and be a part of a solution rather than be part of the problem, that is better any day of the week. And I thank you for that, Peter. Always a minion. Good morning. It's afternoon here now, but y'all can say it's still morning back there on the West Coast. I know, wouldn't that be nice? I think they do, though. I think she has a discounted fee because of her disability. And I think paratransit is free, but it has to be within the boundaries of, when she says she takes the bus, sometimes it's the regular bus, sometimes it's paratransit, depending on where she's going. Because you can get door-to-door service with paratransit. But that means calling a day ahead of time, going on their schedule. You have to be ready a half an hour early to a half an hour late. So you're on their time for paratransit service. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. With her power chair, she can go to the stations or the bus stops. And there's quite a bit of them in the LA area. So you can get pretty close to where you're going. Right? They leave your ass right there. They don't wait for you. They give you like a 5-minute wait. And if you're not ready, bye. Well, that's against the law for people with disabilities with 3 days notice. With the elderly, they can do that. But for people with disabilities, it's under the Department of Transportation laws that they have to give, well, same-day service is a treat, but you have to have next-day service. Well, I'm glad you're preparing for your dinner, Eaglewood. Nice to have you on here. But they have different rules for the elderly that are not disabled and the disabled. The rules for the disabled are that it has to be at least next day service. And in some instances, same day service, but it's pretty hard to get same day service. Before I got my arms operated on, I had to use paratransit services, so I had to learn the rules and the laws. And then working for the ADA helped a lot too. And then my younger sister she didn't drive, so she used paratransit. So I used to have to advocate for her. Oh, Penny the Panther's in here, sorry. Penny girl, you're not gonna die. You think it was 100 degrees outside. It's like 60 degrees out and she's panting like a fat girl. Like me, like a fat granny. Okay, LAPD, come on, bring it on. And you stink too, Fat Penny. The police meeting starts at 9:30 LA time. And so they should be opening up the portal here any minute. Usually they open it up by about 20 after. She not well. She's got a bad hip, so and she's just big. YRB, yep. All the LA buses have the kneel down option or a ramp. Yeah. But the problem is they only have a couple of wheelchair spots on the buses. So if all of their wheelchair spots are full for the regular buses, then they can refuse you service. Because if there isn't a spot to put you, that's what happens. Yeah, that would be really nice. Why did they go to Northeast if he is Southeast? Who is Southeast? I see you, buddy. I know. No, she's fine. And don't nudge me. I see you, buddy. I see you. Yeah. I guess I'm not sure I'm understanding your question. Oh, I don't know. Yeah. And she doesn't do it. Yeah, right. He comes up and he pops my elbow up like that. Yeah, they don't do stuff like that. They throw that back to the paratransit services. I don't know, is Audit live yet? I don't want to like miss my chime in for that either. Nope, she's not live yet. Let's go back to Zoom. I don't know. I don't know if DOA is going. I don't know if Surge, we're such a group, non-group group, however you want to say it. I don't know. I was hoping Surge and Michael would go, but I don't know if they're going. I haven't talked to Surge since the other day. Does anybody want to pop and see if they're live? Right, hippie chick. Didn't he? One time I thought I heard him say that he regrounds himself by going to touch trees out in the forest or something like that. That's what he needs to go do, is just go hug a tree for a couple of days. all of this can't fall on just one person. It's got to be all of us. Okay, Haggis. Hey, MD. MD, are you going to the meeting or are you at the meeting? I know you had said that you were thinking about it earlier. Okay, cool. I know Audit is too. She said she was stuck on the train. This train was moving slow. Planes, trains, and automobiles. Ah. Well, they do public comment after the chief's report, and I think today is the brand new chief. Hey, right? Doesn't matter. I know. Now I'm like, oh, give me some trees to hug. So they'll do a public comment after the chief report, and I think the new chief takes over today. So that maybe, I don't know if it's going to be a short report or a long report or what. So we'll just have to see. Probably him introducing himself at least. Thank you, T and Treasure Finder. I think Audit's stuck on the train too. Well, I am going to talk about their protocol and how their protocol may have scarred those poor girls more than what they know, because their protocol didn't bring in a girl, or a lady, didn't bring in the interpreter. Okay. Yeah, as long as it's police related. But I probably, if I were you, since you were there that night, if that's on your heart to talk about, I would say, I was there, I saw this, I witnessed this, I heard them say the protesters were trying to kill him. How biased it is. Those are all sorts of things that you could talk about. But well, maybe so. So it does, but this is so important it doesn't really matter. We can't wait for the new chief. He'll be listening. If he's not officially there in the official capacity, he'll still be listening. Right. You cannot excuse away criminal behavior from religion. Audits live? Okay.
I don't know if it's because of election day or whatever, just massive delays on the train. Okay. Good morning. I'm here for the police commission meeting. Huh? Go through the stuff here. I could.
Yeah. Check the bag.
Yeah, and Santa shirt, so this I can't remove.
Yeah. Whatever. You can keep this one if you want.
I do prefer it. Thanks.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna send you back.
I'm going to keep her on mute for a few minutes while we're waiting. Yep, my tally so far is right around 100 grand of people watched that. 100,000 people watched that. True, YRB. Absolutely true. We don't know that she wasn't, and we don't know that a female officer wasn't behind the scenes. We don't know that. But somehow it could have been the worries, especially with Serge being there, could have been alleviated by them just addressing the fact that they're saying, we've got this covered, we have your issues covered. Okay. Audit's in the back of the room. They got baby in the corner. They still don't have the Zoom meeting up. What you talking about there, audit girl?
Oh, sorry, wait. Yeah. Well, I want to do it and everything, but I just wouldn't want to kill one tree for it. Okay, guys. Oh, Matt, you're coming? Good. Yeah, that's F-bomb guy. He keeps it real. I need to be up closer. Can somebody type in at the comment the name of the father so I can pin it in case I forget? I'm on like 2.5 hours sleep, so.
I'll sound the trumpets.
Yes, sir. Please call in. Definitely call in. In fact, Raymond, can you pin the name of the dad? Because I can't even think of his name. Thank you. No, it's Alberto. Alberto, I think, right? This is police commission meeting.
Spare, and then it got flat too, right? That's what happened. Doggone it.
Oh, thank you, Albert.
You know, they make flatless tires now.
Thank you, Happy Chick. I'll pin
How
it.
come the LAPD isn't the first to have the no
Thank you.
flat tires? Where are those?
It's okay.
Anybody thought about that one?
I gotta mute you, audit, because come on, people. Go live, go live. Come on, it's 12:27 already. The impatient me is like, come on.
Recording in progress.
Okay, my hand is raised. We got pictures up. Phew, okay. I got my hand raised up on Zoom. We got the picture up. I put a Zoom thingy in audits.
Good morning, Commissioners, Chief Choi, Executive Director, Mr. Sibley. Executive Director, Mr. Sibley, Madam Secretary, Acting Inspector General Florence Yu, Mr. City Attorney Carlos De La Guerra, and members of the public. Today is Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. It is 9:30 a.m. This is a regular meeting of the Los Angeles Board of Police Commissioners. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Good morning. Still working. Testing. I think it is.
It seems like a bit.
Testing. No. So they can hear us on Zoom.
Sorry guys, had to send that to. Yeah, that's the problem, YRB, is there's no trust. There's no faith that they really are doing something.
Their volume. Their
And their history and what's happened in the past doesn't give you much confidence that they're going to do right now. Absolutely, Amy. I have no trust and no confidence that they did shit or Shinola. Nothing.
we can hear you. Like a volume thing, because I could hear.
Better? Better? No.
I could hear you fine. She's the one first told. You can hear you tapping on mine, so everybody can hear you all the time.
Want to call the roll? Okay. Are you sure you did? No, I don't think so.
Good morning. Please let the record reflect that Commissioners Suthers, Shields, Kalanche, Garcia.
I want to stop talking so she can call the roll. Can you hear me? Thank you.
Good morning. Please let the record reflect that Commissioners Suthers, Shields, Kalanche, Garcia are present, and we have a quorum.
We welcome everyone attending this morning. The Police Commission has made a committing to ensuring equal access to its meetings. It is requested that the individuals who require the services of a translator contact the board secretary no later than the day preceding the meeting. Whenever possible, a translator will be provided. Sign language interpreters, assistive listening devices, or other auxiliary aids and/or services may be provided upon request. To ensure availability, you are advised to make your request at least 72 hours prior to the meeting you wish to attend. All public comment will be heard during item number 2 on the agenda. We'll dedicate a total of 45 minutes to public comment. Members of the public will have 1 minute per agenda item for a maximum of 2 minutes total. At the request of the speaker will be given 1 additional minute for general public comment for a maximum of 3 minutes total. The order of the speakers will be a speaker in this room will go first, then we will take a speaker watching today's meeting on Zoom. We will alternate between speakers in the room and Zoom for a total of 45 minutes. Members of the public who participate in public comment are reminded that they can speak to any item on the agenda or a matter within the jurisdiction of the Board of Police Commissioners. Public comment is your opportunity to address the board, so you are free to express your opinion on matters before the board and to generally express when you disagree with other opinions expressed. However, directing your comments to other individuals who have spoken or attacking others, put your hand in your lap. It's the last warning I'm going to give you. However, directing your comments to other individuals who have spoken or attacking others who have expressed their opinions shall be deemed off topic and your public comment period will be concluded. Members of the public, if you choose to participate in the public comment portion of the agenda, you can participate in this meeting in a number of ways outlined on the agenda. Message for those attending the meeting in person. These meetings are regular meetings between the board, the department, and key stakeholders. Meetings of the Board of Police Commissioners are open to the public. State's Ralph M. Brown Act affords the public the opportunity to be present at the meetings, hear the presentations and dialogue in real time, and provide feedback via the public comment period. During these meetings, there's a need for the board to carry out the public business expeditiously without delays or disruptions. Members of the audience shall not engage in any conduct which causes an actual disruption of the meeting. Those attending in person are reminded that disruptive behavior will be cause for removal. If you disrupt this meeting, you will be provided with only 1 warning to cease disruptive behavior. If you fail to cease such behavior, you will be removed from the meeting. All attendees must be seated. Failure to follow this rule will result in a warning and/or removal from the meeting. Before we move on to item number 1, the report of the Chief of Police, today will be Chief Choi's final Police Commission meeting in his role as Interim Chief of Police. He will return to his role as Assistant Chief when Chief McDonald is confirmed and sworn in the coming days. I'd like to take a few minutes to thank Chief Dominic Choi for stepping into this role for the last 6 months. Chief Choi, I'd like to thank you for stepping up and stepping into this role during a very critical time in this department. Thank you for taking the reins and guiding the department while the commission and the mayor work with communities across Los Angeles to select the next chief. I know that you will transition back into your role as Assistant Chief and will continue to provide steady leadership in that capacity. So I look forward to continuing to work with you, and I thank you again for your time and your dedication to the Los Angeles Police Department. If any of my fellow commissioners would like to say a few words, you please do. Vice President Shields.
Thank you, Chief. I just wanted to say, we really could not have asked for someone who is more dedicated and better, well situated to help bridge this gap. And you did so remarkably. And I really value everything that you've done for the department and what you've previously done and what you'll continue to do for the department. So thank you, Chief.
Thank you. Commissioner Kalanche?
Forgot the mics are not.
No.
Chief Choi, you're not going far. Okay. You're not going far, but thank you for this time that you spent with us leading the department. I think you thought it was going to be a shorter period, but thank you so much. I know we'll continue to work and just thank you for keeping things moving and for all your dedication and time that you put in. I know it's a really tough job, but you kept us moving. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Garcia.
Chief Choi, thank you. Just like everybody's saying, appreciate you as an individual and your years in the department and your months in this role, and looking forward to continuing to work with you. And so thank you.
And with that, we'll move on to item number 1 on the agenda, the report of the Chief of Police, Chief Choi.
Okay, well, good morning, commissioners and Acting Inspector General Yu, City Attorney De La Guerra, and Executive Director Sibley. Let me just start by saying I appreciate the opportunity to act as the interim chief for this organization. It's been an honor and a privilege to lead the men and women of this outstanding organization. And all of you out there, the men and women of this organization has truly helped me get through this time, get the city through some challenging events that have happened in the last 8.5 months. So I thank you all for your hard work and your dedication to this city and public safety. To the commission, I want to thank you for your leadership and your ability to listen to me, even as an interim, and for me to be guided by you guys. I think we were a great team and work well together. This experience has made me a better person. I've learned so much. It'll make me a better leader as an assistant chief as I step down and take my role as an assistant chief again. I look forward to many more promising years ahead. I know we have a lot of big events coming forward in 26, 27, 28, and we look forward to those challenges. But I just want to say thank you for the opportunity, having confidence in me, and I'm better for it. So thank you. I'm going to start my comments today by talking about an officer-involved shooting in Southeast. So on November 1st, at approximately 2100 hours, Southeast Division Uniform Patrol officer responded to a radio call in the area of 92nd and South Central Avenue. Suspect, later identified as Nija Hill, pistol whipped 2 victims in an alley adjacent to the laundromat located at 9210 South Central Avenue. Hill then entered the laundromat and threatened several individuals while still armed. He then proceeded to the exterior of the business, where he began to threaten several vendors with the firearm. As officers arrived, they observed Hill standing on the sidewalk outside the laundromat. A short foot pursuit ensued, and during the foot pursuit, Hill produced a firearm and fired at the officers. This resulted in the officer-involved shooting. Both officers were struck by gunfire, and the suspect escaped. Officers broadcast a help call and set up a perimeter in the surrounding area. Hill fled to the area of 93rd and Clovis Avenue, where he attempted to carjack an additional victim. The carjacked attempt was unsuccessful, and Hill ended up hiding within the perimeter. Metropolitan Division SWAT responded to the scene, and after an extensive search, located Hill in the area of 92nd and Wadsworth. This is where he was taken into custody without incident. It was discovered that Hill had also sustained a gunshot wound to his right leg during the officer-involved shooting. Hill was transported to a local hospital where he was treated for his wound and cleared for booking. Both officers were transported to a local hospital by the fire department, where they were treated for their wounds and subsequently discharged. Additionally, the single victim that was pistol whipped was transported to a local hospital where he was treated and also discharged for his injuries. A Glock Model 17 9mm semi-automatic firearm was located in a trash receptacle in the area of 93rd and Clovis, and 9 discharged 9mm casings were located within the officer-involved shooting crime scene. A pistol, the magazine, the cartridge casings were all processed and booked for evidence. Force Investigation Division and Robbery Homicide Division investigators responded to the scene and are investigating this incident. I'm happy to announce that year to date, we have had 24 officer-involved shootings compared to 31 in the same time period last year. That's 22.6% less officer-involved shootings this year compared to last year. And then moving on to, I think we all heard about the World Series. So we had a Game 5 where they won a clinch game, and then we had the parade and the stadium event subsequent to that. So while many of us celebrated this Game 5 win at home with friends peacefully, unfortunately, some chose to celebrate in ways that required law enforcement intervention. For Game 5, the department was prepared for the possibility of a large-scale celebration and we had over 613 officers dedicated to managing the situation and using our incident management teams. Despite our efforts, certain behaviors escalated as seen on various media platforms, and arrests had to be made. One of the incidents involved two separate looting events. First occurred at Jordan Flagship Store at 620 South Broadway, and the second occurred at the Skechers store at 612 South Broadway. In both cases, suspects broke into the stores and stole merchandise. So far, we've been able to make 10 arrests, 7 for burglary, and 3 for receiving stolen property, and detectives are actively working to identify additional suspects related to these crimes. Another significant event involved the burning of an MTA bus in the area of Sunset Boulevard and Echo Park Street. The unruly fans blocked the intersection, vandalized and spray painted the bus. The bus driver and MTA supervisor were able to escape the bus prior to the complete takeover and subsequent fire. Although no arrests have been made yet, investigators are thoroughly reviewing the evidence from the scene and surveillance footage from the area to identify those responsible. Throughout the night, the crowd's behavior became increasingly unruly, prompting officers to deploy less lethal munitions as necessary, resulting in level 3 use of force incidents. At this time, there are no reports of injuries sustained due to the use of less lethal munitions. Additionally, several officers and the mounted unit were assaulted during the event, with bottles and fireworks being thrown at them. Thankfully, no officers, including horses, sustained any serious injuries. While these incidents were unfortunate, I commend our officers for their swift and professional response in ensuring public safety during such a high-energy event. And this is a testament to all the training and the exercises we've been doing with our incident management teams and our mobile field force training after the 2020 civil unrest incidents. And with the World Series, Game 5 win obviously came the victory parade and the stadium event. Our department was prepared to manage that event, and that crowd was estimated at approximately 273,000 visitors, 200 plus on the parade route, and 48,000 estimated at the stadium event. The event was well organized and effectively handled by our incident management team. We had around 835 officers dedicated to this event, including 3 mobile field forces. I'm pleased to report that there were no major incidents throughout the event. Spectators who came to enjoy the parade were able to do so safely and departed the area peacefully, utilizing mass transit and walking once the parade had passed their locations. There were, however, 3 incidents following the parade that law enforcement resources were directed to. The first occurred at 8th and Flower Street, where a member of a large crowd climbed the exterior of a 4-story building to spray paint graffiti. Unfortunately, that individual fell and sustained a critical head injury. Our command post was able to use video footage to observe the injured suspect, who was surrounded by members of the crowd rifling through his pockets. The mobile field force was deployed to clear the area and allow LAFD to access and transport the subject to a local hospital. Approximately 2 hours later, officers deployed again to the same location, 8th and Flower, to clear an area of about 150 people from the street so traffic could resume. While trying to clear that intersection, a member of the crowd charged the skirmish line, leading to a level 3 use of force incident where officers utilized a baton strike and the deployment of a 40 millimeter less lethal round. And finally, at 1400 hours, our air support team observed a suspect throwing a glass bottle at uniformed officers. Air support broadcast the information. The suspect was quickly located and arrested. Fortunately, the officers involved did not sustain serious injuries. Next, I'd like to talk about some significant events over the past 3 weeks. Just to highlight the hard work and the good work, the great work that our officers are doing every day. So on October 16th, detectives from Mission area successfully identified and arrested 4 individuals responsible for a series of serious crimes. So between August 16th and October 16th, this group is alleged to have committed at least 8 ATM burglaries in the Mission area, 1 in West Valley area, 2 robberies, as well as a kidnapping and carjacking. Thanks to the diligent work of detectives in both Mission and West Valley areas, the suspects were identified. Search warrants were served at multiple locations. During the searches, investigators recovered various items linked to the burglaries, including cash, and seized 3 vehicles identified through surveillance footage as being involved in these crimes. The district attorney's office filed various accounts against the suspects, which included burglary, possession of unregistered assault rifle, carjacking, and kidnapping. Another noteworthy arrest involved a suspect responsible for a series of armed robberies targeting at least 7 food trucks and a 7-Eleven store in the San Fernando Valley between September 8th and September 21st. Detectives from our North Hollywood area worked diligently to identify the suspect, utilizing investigative techniques and reviewing surveillance footage. Their efforts led to the development of a strong lead and a search warrant, which was served on the suspect's residence, where pieces of evidence were recovered which connected the suspect to the robberies. The Los Angeles District Attorney's Office has filed 8 counts of armed robbery and 10 counts of assault with a deadly weapon. Another significant arrest occurred on the evening of October 31st. A West Los Angeles unit conducting crime suppression targeting burglaries near Sepulveda Boulevard and Moraga Drive. While patrolling the area, officers spotted a vehicle resembling one previously identified in the connection of a local burglary. Upon running the vehicle's plate, it was found that it was cold plated and it was actually a stolen vehicle. Officers continued to follow the vehicle. The driver suddenly accelerated, prompting them to initiate a pursuit. During the chase, the suspects discarded several items from the vehicle. While the vehicle was still in motion, the suspect abandoned the vehicle and fled on foot. Officers quickly established a perimeter with the assistance of Metropolitan Canine Division. 3 of the 4 suspects were located and taken into custody without incident. The evidence discarded from the vehicle is believed to be linked to recent burglaries in the area. Detectives are continuing their investigation to connect these suspects to similar cases. While the suspects were booked for burglary, it is suspected that they are involved in multiple burglaries in the area. I want to thank all the officers involved in this arrest, and the continued dedication from the men and women of this department is deeply appreciated as they work to keep our communities safe. And then I just, obviously we have today's election day, and I just want to announce that we are prepared for whatever may happen. We're hoping and asking for a peaceful election cycle, but our Department Operations Center is activated to level 3. We are at max deployment today. All of our sworn personnel, with the exception of narcotics and vice officers, are in uniform, and you will see a higher presence out there in the field in the coming days as well. Now, moving on to crime, for the 4 weeks ending November 2nd, compared to the prior 4 weeks, combined persons and property crimes are down 12.1%, or minus 1,189 crimes, and person crimes are down 10.8%, or minus 239 crimes. Property crimes are down 12.4%, or minus 950 crimes. Our homicides compared to 2023 year to date are down 13.5%, or minus 38 homicides. And compared to 2022, they're down 28.7%, or minus 98 homicides. Our gang-related homicides are also down 36.7% year to date, and compared to 2023, and compared to 2022, they're down 52.7%. Our year-to-date victim shot is down 190 victims, or minus 18.1% compared to 2023, and they're down 315 victim shot, or 26.8% compared to 2022. For the past 4 weeks ending November 2nd, aggravated assaults are down 10.4%, or minus 146 aggravated assaults compared to the prior 4 weeks. For a robbery analysis, for the past 4 weeks ending November 2nd, robberies are down 8.1%, or minus 61 robberies compared to the prior 4 weeks. Looking at our burglary analysis, for the past 4 weeks ending November 2nd, burglaries are down 0.4% overall, or minus 4 burglaries compared to the prior 4 weeks. In the past 4 weeks for commercial burglaries, they're down 70.2%, or minus 69 burglaries. But for residential burglaries for the past 4 weeks, we're up 11.2%, or plus 65 compared to the prior 4 weeks. And then motor vehicle thefts for the past 4 weeks, we're down 9.8%, or minus 187 motor vehicle thefts. The same vehicles, the Kias, the Chevys, and Hyundais are the ones that are being primarily stolen. And our personnel strength, as of October 14th, sworn personnel strength is at 8,773. Our civilian personnel staffing is at 2,614, and our reserve officers are at 380. And that concludes my remarks.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you for the update on the 2 officers struck by gunfire. I understand they were released from the hospital and expect a full recovery, and that's good to hear. I did want to follow up. I believe the same evening at Southwest, officers were struck by a DUI driver as well, and it turned their vehicle over. And what's the status of those officers?
Yeah, so the officers were fine. Physically, they were taken to the hospital, treated, and released that same night. And I know the video images were, overturned vehicle, looked horrendous, but the officers are very fortunate to not have any significant injuries.
Thank you. And again, thank you for the evaluation and the summary of the Dodger parade. I didn't realize it was that many people. I know that people were actually out at Dodger Stadium about 24 hours before the event was going to take place, as well as being here downtown. And again, just thank the men and women who worked that event. I think it was pretty exciting, and I think everyone did a good job. So with that, I'm going to defer to Vice President Shields for any questions or comments she may have.
Thank you, President Suthers, and thank you, Chief, for the report, and thank you for the updates on all the significant arrests that were made. I wanted to echo President Suthers' comments regarding the Southeast officers who were struck by gunfire. I'm glad that they are doing well, including also the officers that were struck by the DUI driver. Between those instances and also bottles being thrown at officers during the parades and celebrations, it demonstrates the harm that officers face on a normal basis. And so I'm thankful that they all have not sustained any significant injuries or are recovering quickly. With regards to, and I do want to also, commend the Metro officers who helped identify and locate the individual who was involved in that shooting, and also the fire department for assisting the department as always. With regards to the celebration of the Dodger victory, has there been any arrests made with regards to the burning of the MTA bus, or is that still an ongoing investigation?
That's an ongoing investigation. Our Major Crimes Division is leading that investigation, and there are many leads that they're following up on.
Wonderful, thank you. And with regards to, Election Day, it's good to know that the department is at max deployment. Are they also kind of, knowledgeable of where polling locations are so that everyone knows that they can and should vote without any type of intimidation, fear, or anyone precluding them from doing so peacefully?
Absolutely. So we received the list of all polling sites in the city of Los Angeles about a week and a half ago, and those have been distributed to all of our geographic bureaus, as well as being discussed daily in roll calls for the past week and a half. Our officers, senior lead officers, our gang officers, they're all aware of polling sites, although they can't physically be there all the time, but they are aware in case a radio call comes out, they can respond. We're in connection with our federal, state, and local partners about any election-related incidents. So there's a robust communication group that is talking constantly to ensure that not only locally, but regionally, that we're having a safe election process and everyone can feel safe to go out physically and vote.
Wonderful, thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Calanche. Thank you. Commissioner Garcia.
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll now move on to item number 2, public comment. Madam Secretary, please call the first speaker.
The first speaker is Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman.
Just mic on? Yeah, mic's on. But Mike's not here. But let's talk about the Brandenburg versus Ohio acceptance of donations program you guys are running here in this chateau of city problems here. You got some problems there, Mr. Roll? No? Continue? Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I want your full attention on this, E-Roll, because my understanding, all these donations of flooded money that's not reported by Rasha Shields at UCLA and Brentwood is very alarming. And I think the oil refinery people should cough up the information about those participating donations she's been receiving and not reporting on a 1099. But I may be mistaken. After all, I'm just a puppet. And puppets only talk what other puppets say about this kind of bullshit. About these, accept the donation, a dirty nigger. Yeah, that's all I'm talking about. It's just donations. So not to alarm Mr. Eroy, his Hesse Pass up there. And then look at here. Verbal presentation, LAX, fuck the police. Well, nobody cares about LAX. We've known that they've been smuggling the drugs through there, all the fentanyl that Mr. Commissioner boy up there. And I say boy because boy, I don't understand. You got to stop that shit from coming in on the airlines. Otherwise, Trump is right. Close the borders and build the borders and keep that fucking cunt Kamala in her DA office. It didn't do shit all those years. You know, after all, this is a moo Democratic Party. Money grows on trees. But let's go into closed session now so I can stay on topic before we get to my general public comment, before the asshole rules me off a topic. So here we got public employee discipline, dismissal, release, and public employee. Well, during the performance of one of your employees who physically assaulted me here at this podium, I find that as a civil dispute under my constitutional right to say, fuck the police, Earl. Now into my general public comment. Under the U.S. 395, 444, 1969, send the motherfuckers back to the dark garden. Let's save America and vote for Trump tonight, because this is the only time you'll be able to do so. But on my swing vote, I'm voting for that cunt, Kamala Harris, because she's going to allow all my immigration lawyer friends to receive a big fat paycheck when you open up the gates, the same way Raja has been receiving those donations. And besides that, who fucking cares? I'm glad James P. McDonald is the new chief. He will receive that $507,000 paycheck for the rest of his life, thanks to that stupid fucking bitch. What's her name? Bass. And for the record, here's your document. Thank you, Earl.
Next, we have Betty Lane.
Good morning.
Oh,
Good morning.
okay. We can't hear Betty Lane. We'll move on.
All right, my name is Matios with the Stop LAPD Spying Coalition. I'm not sure if this mic works. So there are two after-action reports on the agenda today for UCLA and USC and the uprisings that took place there. And after-action reports have consistently been used as a propaganda tool by the LAPD to sanitize the violence they enact against communities and distort the lived experiences of communities into narratives that justify their continued existence and expansion. That's definitely the case with these two reports that we're talking about today. They completely erase the brutality experienced by student organizers at the hand of Zionist vigilantes and strategically omit precursors to the inflicted violence upon student organizers, including the censorship of Asna Tabassum by Errol Southers. In fact, Errol Southers is not mentioned at all at the USC After Action report, which is astounding. And the less than lethal deployment or use of force deployment is really kind of, or even how it's documented is really egregious in these documents. And both reports actually note that there were problems with recording uses of force in both instances. And so just to show that this is really kind of a ridiculous document, it can't be trusted to be an actual account of what went on the floor. And if anything, there's a clear intention to mask what actually went down on these campuses. Some other interesting points about the reports. The UCLA report disgustingly flattens the 2020 George Floyd and Breonna Taylor uprisings, commonly referred to as the BLM protest, right? Black Lives Matter protest is how people know it, as the, quote, defund the police protests, which is really interesting. It reduces it to a budget demand and erases the real community condemnations, the real anti-blackness that was named, the calls to abolish the police, right? And it does this to kind of call out how UCLA wanted to distance themselves from the LAPD. So it was really petty in that way. But just goes to show that this is really what LAPD has done after the Rodney King beating too. Again, I can't bring that up enough, where that after action report kind of, again, masked and highlighted that violence. We saw this with the Echo Park sweep too a couple years ago. And so this document is bullshit. We don't trust it. And then lastly, I think it's important to note on election day that especially in 2020 and prior, there's a long history of LAPD officers participating in pro-Trump rallies in uniform. And there's a long history of even LAPD having MAGA hats in these meetings when they were over Zoom, tucked away in the background. And I think, maybe y'all have forgotten, but we certainly haven't, that 3 LAPD officers participated in the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Michael Moore prevented the release of their names forever because it was under investigation. And despite his insistence that they weren't involved in the actual violence, we still don't know who those officers are. And these are people who, never mind their politics. I mean, their politics are egregious, but they were down to overthrow the government. And they're maybe still in these police forces. So name these officers. I yield the rest of my time.
So Matios has said quite a bit about these reports, but I think I'm going to reiterate that all of these reports are like memos. They're not even real reports. And one thing we need to constantly remind ourselves that what's always missing in these reports is, which is by intent and design as well, that the incident happened that day, but what was the whole history behind leading to that incident and to that day as well? LAPD is actively engaged in information sharing with these police forces. LAPD is actively engaging in social media surveillance of the students that are going on. LAPD is actively engaging in where they move, where they go, using license plate readers. So the whole architecture of surveillance is constantly active as, leading up to that point. So to just kind of name something in a report, we shouldn't even call this a report. This is a memo. It's a memo basically about who went, who talked, what happened, defund the police, and that's where it ends. So, these reports are again to sanitize the action. These reports are again to completely degrade the impact that has happened on students and the trauma that happened, and also to allow Zionist forces and to allow violent Zionist forces to come and assault these students and just kind of become an audience. The other thing also we need to be looking at this is in the broader impact of this report is that what purpose they serve, because the cheap thrill and the cheap sensationalization is on. Congress is coming out with a report about anti-Semitism. So the whole thing serves one purpose, to how to criminalize protest, how to demonize students, how to go after who are speaking up about the genocide that is going on in Palestine, how to come out against protesters who are pro-Palestinian. And it is just a part of a much bigger scheme that is going on, because we see the mayor has been on top of it, coming out after people, the whole system, the city hall and everybody else. And then, lastly, as Matios pointed out, when we talk about the report on USC, it has to go back to what Errol Southers did to Asnath Bassam. That the trauma that happened to that young woman, the trauma that happened, the degradation that happened, the humiliation that happened, the criminalization that happened, and the targeting of that young student. Because it's not just about at that moment as a valedictorian or whoever, to speak. It is about constantly marking and targeting you and putting a target on you that if you move out of line, if you speak out, we're coming after you. So again, this is just a constant thing, but that's why we are here. That's why we're here every week, to expose, to disrupt, to organize in our goal towards abolishing this kind of.
Thank you.
Next speaker, Greenspan. Greenspan.
Yes. I don't know if this is working. I don't think it is. Okay. So, of course, we have the compensation package, the very, very low compensation package. How come the bitch DEI hire for DWP makes $759,000, but you only want to pay the white police chief $500,000? What the fuck is going on here? I think that's inverse discrimination. Yes, it is. This department has far more cover-ups than the DWP. I mean, Jim's going to be spending all of his time destroying documents, in my opinion, covering up crime, in my opinion. He should at least get $750. What do you think there, Kalanche? Wait, remember when we had those street tacos? I think we talked about this, did we? So I move that the compensation be equal to the DWP commissioner. $759,000 is the fair salary, not this crooked crap. And then, of course, we got Dominic Choi. You got fucked, didn't you? First, you were the most qualified candidate, but you're the wrong race, and you're surely the wrong gender, so you don't get shit. Asians don't get anything in this city. Except 2 complaints. You got 2 complaints against you. Holy shit! 2 fucking complaints against an interim chief? That's a new record. Let's get my hand. Oh, no. That's right. Yes, old Dominic Choi. Always over there at Langer's. Always trying to stuff his face with all that overpriced bacon. You know you like bacon. Yes. Old man Langer. You promised him to clean up MacArthur Park. You haven't done shit. That's probably one of the complaints. Now, you're going to have to sit there and be the water boy for the white police commissioner. You have seniority. You have better training. You have up-to-date certificates. And you're far more qualified than old Jim. But you got to sit there next to him and take his fucking orders. You've been waiting 30 years to be the chief. How come this fucking board of racist commissioners won't make Dominic Choi the goddamn police chief? Most qualified person we've ever had. Because he's not black and he's not a woman. Oh, okay. And he's not white. That's right. So remember, Dominic, Asian people still have 100 years to go to them chains come off. But as we like to say to everybody, your reign has been a good reign. You failed. And then we're going to bring in this new commissioner. She's a judge? Holy shit. But we always want to leave on a high note. We want to say to the Dominic Choi, so long, nigger.
All items, including general comment, please. Regarding this after action report, when you go to approve this report, I demand that Eric Suthers recuse himself from the vote. And once again, we have LAPD reporting on itself, reporting on its own actions, excusing its own actions. What they did, because I was there at UCLA, what they did was look at peaceful protesters and impute intentions, preoperative intentions on them as being terrorists, extremists, and criminal. That's the way I saw it, and that's the way it happened. And I'm sure that there's no mention of that in the report. I also want to talk about you putting the report on the director's recommendations of that $500,000 salary on a consent item. Did you not anticipate that that would not be without contention? Did you not anticipate that people would be furious about that? You have a city council, a city, LA City, where the budget is run out, where they're borrowing money to pay settlements that were caused by LAPD, where they're laying off workers, and you think a $500,000 salary would be on a consent item, would be justified as not being controversial? Shame on you for trying to avoid what deserves to be a really hot issue. And I just want to say that it's asinine. Who wakes up in the morning and says, "Oh, our city is in such bad shape. We have to lay off workers. We have to freeze hiring. We have to borrow money to pay for settlements to people who have lost loved ones to LAPD violence. And why don't we pay our new chief $500,000 or more?" Asinine.
Can you hear me? All right. Okay. Hello, my name's Clemente. I'm a student at USC, and I'm here to comment on BPC 24284. It's a worrying report that LAPD issued on its violence at USC. There are multiple glaring omissions in the report, despite multiple videos showing LAPD and DPS abusing and repressing students. I'm going to provide a few examples that weren't included in the report. On April 24, 2024, the first day of the protest, a DPS and LAPD officer violently throwed a student on the ground, possibly endangering their life. On April 27, 2024, disgraced LAPD officer Frank Trevino, now at DPS, who was fired by the LAPD in the early 2000s for misconduct, almost runs a student journalist over. He is only one of 5 other ex-LAPD officers at DPS. We condemn this pipeline between DPS and LAPD. And then on May 5th, in the report, it states that there was no use of force on May 5th, when on that day, a student was shot with a, quote, non-lethal projectile when LAPD violently swept students. That was omitted from the report. It was mentioned in a little section, but that was the use of force. There's a video there. In fact, that student is suing LAPD right now. So, and this doesn't even begin to include the possible violations of First Amendment on our campus. Our rights of free expression is protected by Leonard's Law, and LAPD and DPS's actions has had a chilling effect on students' rights to expression and assembly. That's enshrined in our Constitution. Additionally, the press, student and professional journalists, everyone from the LA Times to the New York Times to our writers at Daily Trojan or Annenberg Media, were not given an appropriate area to observe LAPD and DPS's violent sweep on students in possible violation of Crespo versus the City of Los Angeles, which protects reporters' rights. So, yeah. And all these are not only inappropriate expressions of conduct from LAPD and DPS, but worrying signs of our democracy in decay as a genocide rages on in Gaza. And historically, DPS has been harsher on Palestinian protesters and has failed to protect students, as shown in 2020 when Palestinian, Arab, and Muslim students were doxxed and harassed. And this may be compounded by the fact that Southers was trained by Israeli counter-terrorist forces. This doesn't even cover DPS's racial profiling of Black and brown students. And LAPD profits from this, made over $2 million over March and May. DPS has earned over $550 million since 2002. So we have a few demands. We demand cops off our campus. We demand amnesty for all student protesters and for our community members and students. We demand the end of DPS, LAPD, and USC's continued ties to the Zionist entities. And we demand the resignation of Southers from his role.
We're asking if you missed their name because they're not hearing any names being called on. Completely out of control.
Look at you people. Just look at you people.
Yeah. You don't want to think about it, do you? You don't want to think that you, who are supposed to be a civilian oversight commission, are actually really, really horrible cops. That's what you've turned yourselves into. And especially with this appointment of McDonald, you are actually slapping your hands or slapping in the face the voters of this city and of this county who voted him, very deliberately voted him out of office as sheriff. That was a very deliberate and very important message that they sent to the community. And it was the voters who did it. Now you want to bring him back. Slap in the face. We don't care about the public.
Yeah, we ordering you out. Yeah, good. You know, the ordering you out. Hey, Kalanche, that's what we talked about at lunch, man. Sorry, man. That's what we talked about at lunch. I don't care. You gotta tell them to stop this shit. Okay? You're a nice lady. You're smart. You gotta tell them to stop this shit. It's illegal. Okay? I'm being fucking targeted. The thing's sitting here like this. I'm not in the way. The camera's there. It's the fucking camera. It's not me. If you point the fucking camera to the speaker, it wouldn't be on my puppet the whole meeting, right? You dumb fuck. Okay? That's the problem. Okay. We broke bread, Kalanche. We gotta stop this shit. You gotta tell them to stop this fucking crap, okay? Using armed force like this is not going to stop the First Amendment, okay? It's not gonna stop it. Okay? I've got the ear of people in DC. So you better hope your buddy Trump wins. Because if he doesn't win, you motherfuckers are under investigation. Because you're violating the First Amendment. And you're using force to intimidate and harass public speakers.
Thank you.
That's what the whole thing was about. Yeah. Okay? That's what it's about. Okay? Now, it's not my fault that you're a fucking puppet. This is the real puppet.
So drunk and all this criminality with developers, it's wrong.
Come on, shut up. You're taking
Always
up our
will be
time.
wrong. Vets
Shut
come
up.
first, boo. And you denied the vets.
Shut up.
You denied us under HHH, bitch, which you are. So, like I said in the future, fuck the police and Trump.
Very good.
Well, so I was trying to say it's very appropriate that this is election day because you do not respect the people and you do not respect their vote. And then you come along with another big slap in the face and another torture technique, taking our hard-earned money and paying this man an exorbitant salary. $500,000? Give me a break. Give me a break. We have to pay that when we said we didn't want him as sheriff? And now we have to pay it? I know what you're doing. What you're doing is gearing up for the events that are coming. You want peaceful protesters in jail. You want to label them terrorists. You want to commit crimes against citizens repeatedly. You are going to be killing people in your preparations for the Olympic by using this man's techniques and hurting all the people in this city. You are gearing up for torture. You are the ones who need to be investigated for use of force. You are using force against this community. And you are plotting and planning for worse. We know it, and you know it. And you're all just sitting here being cheerleaders for this idiotic plan. You're more worried about cops being pelted with water bottles than you are about the citizens being shot in the back.
Good morning. I'm here for something a little different. I'm here to stand up for two girls who on Sunday were at a Scientology event with their parents. The father, with the father, Alberto Godinez. These girls ran away from their dad at Scientology building, ran for safety to complete strangers, begging for help and begging them not to call the police because the police work for Scientology. This is in the Northeast Division, and I have seen firsthand, any of the protesters have, how in bed Northeast Division is with Scientology. It's because Janet Wieland is on their CPAB. She is one step under David Miscavige, and she is on your CPAB. She has so much influence in this city that I can't even get 250 planters that are illegally placed without permit that are non-ADA compliant removed. That's how much influence. But forget the planners, keep them there at this point. I want to know, we all want to know what happened to these girls. You know, did you give them back to this father? It's not every day teenagers run away from their parent at an event, begging for help from strangers, begging not to call the police because they, you know, and for anyone who thinks that, oh, maybe they're not Scientology, how would they know how much in bed Scientology is with LAPD? We have taken our complaints about this embedness to the Inspector General's office, but it's still, I mean, as long as Janet Wieland remains on your CPABs, you know, it's going to remain. She needs to be removed. You guys need to separate yourselves. You need to find out what's going on with these girls. They need help. There was a help sign in the window at Blue Building. The police were called, and because Scientology said, oh, there's nothing to see, nothing here to see, you walked away. Okay, and now these two girls have run for help. Where are these girls? We want to know. And I want to know, why is Janet Wieland still on your CPAB with all this influence? She has influence over every area of the city on behalf of Scientology. Enough is enough. I'm going to keep coming until it stops. We want our police to be, you know, for the people, not for Scientology. And I'm asking you, Chief Choi, that's your last duty at, you know, for that you are here, you know, in your capacity. Please find these girls. Please bring justice. Please bring help, and please make it stop. No child belongs to be dealing with whatever it is that they're dealing with that they don't want to deal with. No child deserves that. How many children do you see run and beg for help from strangers? And they can't, and they know better than to call the police. That breaks my heart. When I was a kid, we had these helping hand signs up. You go there, they're going to call the police, and the police are going to be there to help you. But the police actions that night were egregious. I beg you to look into it, sir, please.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm a student at USC, and this report leaves out so much. As a student, the reason why I'm scared to go to campus every day is because of cops that you guys sent to our campus to beat up students. I watched my friend be chokeholded by a police officer. I watched my friends get shot at by police officers by non-lethal weapons. You should tell that to their fucking injuries. Every day now, every time I hear a helicopter going over my house, shaking the house because it's so powerful, I think of all the lights that the helicopters flashed on us as students for sitting in grass, protesting an ongoing genocide. You guys spent millions of dollars policing students with helicopters when there's people sleeping on the street outside of this very building. You guys would rather spend your money surveilling students. You guys took over our student union to arrest students. You guys entered our student union to take over so you guys could plan the best way of how to arrest 80 peaceful students on our campus. Shame on you. Errol Southers, yeah, you're looking down right now. We all know that you used to stalk your ex-wife. Yeah, we know. And it makes me feel so good as a female student at USC that you're in charge of my safety. That makes me feel awesome. I don't feel totally unsafe at all, especially after that you sent your cops to arrest all my friends. And also, one of your cops pushed me down to the ground when I was trying to prevent another cop from removing children out of a tent. You guys have zero shame. And your brutality not only extends to USC students, but the surrounding South Central community with your violent sweeps of unhoused residents and criminalization of Black and Brown community members that just simply wanted to support students that day. You responded by arresting them when they were showing solidarity with people all around the world who are protesting a genocide. We need cops off campus because you guys surveil every single event we have. It doesn't matter if we're just painting for Palestine. You guys are there recording us, taking pictures of us, and intimidating students for speaking their minds. Get off our campuses. Get off. You make us feel unsafe. Errol Southers, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself. Get off. Leave us alone. We don't want anything to do with you because all you have done is instilled a culture of fear. Our gates are locked up. Our gates are completely locked up because of cops like you that would rather spend all your time surveilling students for saying free Palestine than actually protecting us. So shame on you, Errol Southers.
Hello, Jonathan Foster. I have some questions, and I'll state the foundation: the people who scream systemic racism. Well, let me tell you. See, I'm mostly white. I'm part Choctaw, and the systemic racism is right in front of me. Then there's Kevin Leon, guy with 2 first names. He won't step down. Gil Cedillo, he wouldn't step down. The LAPD won't tell the truth about who sent the George Floyd Valentine. The LAPD won't step down. It's the same damn thing. The entire command staff is covering this up. The commission is covering this up. It sounds like the same damn racist. We wouldn't know without the secret recording, and we wouldn't know without the George Floyd Valentine, but it's still happening today. The LAPD is trying to make it a real secret. They're trying to keep it quiet. And this is the same political silence, not political science. This is political silence because they know they're in trouble. You know, this wasn't the one isolated moment. Now it's all over. This is happening today. Nothing changed in many of the settings that matter. Let me say that again. Nothing changed in many of the settings that matter, government and policing, the stuff that matters. It's still systemic racism. Here it is, another one of the nonstop examples of systemic racism that people in media and the government says it doesn't exist. These vagabond politicians that go from office to office with their hobo racism says it doesn't exist. They say systemic racism doesn't exist. What is this then? What's happening with Kevin Leon, the guy with 2 first names, and the LAPD displaying outright racism towards certain Black people? Is the LAPD and Kevin, the guy with 2 first names, Kevin Leon, are they saying it's something else? Are you saying it's something else? Who do we count on or rely on to stop the racism if we can't count on the LAPD or elected officials? If what you got to do to prove anything puts a person in a criminal position, how do we stop it? When the systemic racist is Eileen, when the systemic racism is Rasha, is Briggs, is Fabian, is Soboroff, is Loser, is Choi, is Sancho Tina, is the whole command staff. The government of LA, Nori, Kevin Leon, a guy with 2 first names, Gil and Ron, the government of California. Who can I count on? Who?
I just wanted to bring up something that Andrew actually brought up
over text, which is that there's apparently no question in Earl Souther's mind that McDonald will be confirmed. And why should there be? Chief Choi, you said serving as interim police chief made you a better person. I'm just wondering which part specifically. Was it 6 unhoused people dying every day while your department eats up half the city budget? Was it your extremely fat paycheck? Was it being the face of the deadliest police department in the country? Was it attacking people who were celebrating the Dodgers win? What about brutally shutting down peaceful protests? Or just a couple days ago, arresting poor people along the Dodgers victory parade to get them out of view? Was it the all expenses paid trip to Paris? Or was it presiding over an organization full of rapists, drug traffickers, thieves, and liars? All stories that actually came out during your tenure. Was it standing by while extremist terrorists attacked student protesters on UCLA's campus? Or was it ramping up ticketing and arrests in Skid Row after Grants Pass? I would love to hear more specificity as to what exactly you're proud of and how you became a better person. It's mainstream news that LAPD is bankrupting our city, and you're proposing to pay the new chief more than $500,000. That's his base salary. A disgraced former sheriff who was voted out of office because he was such a shitty sheriff will almost certainly, after benefits, be making more than the president of the United States. Rasha, you mentioned the department's at max deployment today, and in the same breath expressed concern that people be able to vote without intimidation and fear. I don't know about you guys, but LAPD and max deployment definitely is always signal safety and calm for me. Thank you.
Good morning, Chief Choi, Commissioners. I'd like to quote the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who said the following regarding the tragic breakdown of moral and ethical standards in American society. He said the following: "It is midnight within the moral order. At midnight, colors lose their distinctiveness and become a sullen shade of gray. Moral principles have lost their distinctiveness. For modern man, absolute right and wrong are a matter of what the majority is doing. Right and wrong are relative to the likes and dislikes and the customs of a particular community." I'm going to go on here. "Midnight is the hour when men desperately seek to obey the 11th commandment, thou shalt not get caught. According to the ethic of midnight, the cardinal sin is to be caught and the cardinal virtue is to get by. It is all right to lie, but one must lie with real finesse. It is all right to steal if one is so dignified that, if caught, the charge becomes embezzlement, not robbery. It is permissible even to hate, if one so dresses his hating in the garments of love, that hating appears to be loving. The Darwinian concept of the survival of the fittest has been substituted by a philosophy of the survival of the slickest. This mentality has brought a tragic breakdown of moral standards, and the midnight of moral degeneration deepens." I would just like to make this comment. 2 individuals have not been arrested. Sean Evan Buer, who's inflicted crimes against humanity, against young Saul Chai, my landlady, is still not arrested. Colin Ford, I believe that's his last name, who went after me with a knife, who Northeast Division refused to arrest, has still not been arrested. These are 2 white male, blue-eyed gentlemen, and I should not call them gentlemen. They have not been arrested. I am asking for the resignation of Kevin Leon, effective immediately, because he has poisoned the Northeast Division with his criminal coddling agenda. He is the author of the California Values Act, which resulted in the murders of 3 sisters and their chaperone, bodyguard, Nathaniel Kong, when their father, who assaulted a CHP officer, was not deported immediately. He was let out like he was an American citizen. He had a meeting at a church, which his wife allowed, and he murdered his three daughters and Mr. Kong and committed suicide. This is who's running this Northeast Division. These officers, I can ask for the immediate firings of Matthew Eddy and Mac, Officer Estrada, Adult Protective Services.
I'd like to speak on what happened Sunday night. I was there at the incident over there by L. Ron Hubbard Way with two girls that escaped Scientology or attempted to escape. I was very disturbed by being there and not having a female officer present. It was all male officers. That's unacceptable in my opinion and several other people's opinions that were there. Another thing that disturbed me very much, besides seeing those girls very frightened and terrified, was an officer made a statement as he was driving away when a citizen asked what was going on. And the officer said, "Don't worry about it." Officer's name was Anthony Valenzuela. The officer says, "Don't worry about it. They're just up there trying to unalive us," meaning unalive the officer, meaning pertaining to us protesters that were up there filming. Very unacceptable, very frightening. That could have started outrage with the whole community. To say something like that is disgusting. I am afraid of this department now because of that statement he made. It's unacceptable. I have nothing else to say.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. He'll take a complaint. We have a gentleman who'll take a complaint.
What?
Awesome job, man. Yes, take.
I have video as well.
The celebration, but then still trying to catch up. It's just so. I have no words. My concern for those poor girls. No, they're having technical difficulties, so they're taking a break, and then they're going to come back and try to do the Zoom. So apparently there's some kind of, even their microphones aren't working right. There is something going on. Chief Choi, please look into this. I beg you, please, for these girls. Please, just let us know that they're okay. You have so many heartbroken people that don't know. Yes, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Me too, Sciento. It's very visceral. Like you feel it. I can just imagine it being like my girls crying for help, and because there's a Janet Wheeland and safe pointing, they don't get the help. But I promised them that all of us collectively, we're going to fight for them, and that's what we're going to do. I'm at the point, screw the planners, let the planners stay if they have to stay. We're fighting for these girls. Yeah, I'm sure we did. The chief, I begged the chief to look into it. He said he's going to get somebody to get the time, date, and everything. What I know it was Sunday because it was my guy's birthday, and I know we were out to dinner. I think we were. So I'm going to say it happened about 7 p.m. Yes, please send me anything regarding anything. I'm always welcome to emails. And a lot of times I don't put out what I'm doing because sometimes I have to work behind the scenes. It's just better not to, because I know that Janet, I know they watch everything I put out. And sometimes I want them to see, sometimes I don't. But please know, I respond to every email. If anyone could give me timestamps, I'm still trying to catch up. I couldn't even still watch all of it. I'm so busy. But I believe it was like 7 p.m.-ish. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you guys are here. It's not easy doing this. I'm just going to be here, Saskatchewan. I can't be here. I love you guys too. I can't be antagonistic with them like as much, they deserve everything that they're hearing, but I need them to work with me. And so I have to take a different approach, you know what I'm saying? I have to kind of put out as much as I'm disgusted by so much. I gotta say, please work with us, please. And Serge, good. I'm glad you're there. They're having technical difficulties with Zoom, so they put a small break, and then they are the ladies there trying to fix it. And she's like, I can't hear that she's with technical people trying to figure it out. Like she's trying to fix it. I'm so glad you're there, Serge. Like, if you can ever get down here, they need to see you. They need to hear your voice in person. They need to see you because they need to get it. They need to understand. Yeah, they taken Matt. That's what they did to me. I don't know if you remember the last time. They took me to make a complaint. So the OIG is there to take his complaint. So it's yet another complaint in, which is what we need. The Zoom link, it's on the agenda. I don't know if if one of my amazing, awesome mods can post the Zoom link. I don't know if they're going to be able to get the Zoom up. Okay, so by 5, okay. Yeah, no, we're going to fight for these girls. I mean, I make that commitment to them. Yeah, Serge, but you know what? When you do it in public and everyone keeps singing it, eventually they're going to get sick of it, and they're going to be like, the good senior lead officer White, right? He was always doing all the Christmas stuff with them. And I asked him, I was like, you gotta do like the Christmas stuff with them this year. He's like, heck no. He goes, no way, it's not worth it. And so that's where you gotta get them. And it just takes that continued persistence. And just knowing that you know, eventually they're gonna wear down. They're gonna get sick of it. And especially now to say what, you know, children are being trafficked and, you know, like, especially with all this, there's so many hot potatoes. It's the time to, you know, really get them.
Did you throw me a lunch in there too?
I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. Sorry, guys. This one hit hard. Okay, good. And I know there was a letter sent. I just want to see, because he said he's going to ask. He said he's going to send a detective to just ask me date and time. I think, you know, I'm sure they already have. I'm sure people have been sending all this stuff to them. It's just a matter of pushing them to do their job. Just push. Everyone just. Hopefully, Amanda, yeah, you just have to. Eventually, they all get sick of it, you know? Okay, Claudia, is it on, I guess, both of their streams? I'll look it up. Yeah, that was amazing. I agree with you, John. It was God. That was a God moment because what if they weren't there? What if happened and no one would have seen it? The fact that the right people were there is just to document this. It's time. I'm telling you, this is a battle that I mean, I'm not pushing anything on anyone, but I truly believe that this is God's battle and it's his timing and he's going to work on it. And using people, you know, and we're going to hopefully clean up a lot of this corruption. It's just unbelievable. I'm missing public comment over there. It's okay. I need to do this. This is, you know, especially if they're going to send me a detective. Just an afternoon meeting. I'll catch that one. Yeah, and these girls, what are they going to, if they did give them back, what punishments are they going to go through?
Where did my comment go?
I hope that they all need to go to jail. I'm like, seriously? All of Scientology. But the battle right now, Janet Whelan and Parker, they need to be off CPAP. They need to be out there. So there are other ones too. They need to be, until they, you know, deal with all these allegations, they have no place on CPAP. And she's the one, you know, I don't know if people realize it, she's the handler of the ones who are coming and messing with stuff. She absolutely is their handler. They're just nothing but paid shills. What do you mean, Hippie Chick? How many are they on? What do you mean? I mean, it's still gonna fight the street stuff, but that's gotta take the back burner. See, Janet literally knows right now what the punishments they are doing to the kid that just tried to escape. You know what? Absolutely, she does. And if anyone doesn't believe me, I am telling you. She is. Oh, thank you, Eric Rader. Thank you so much for all your hard work, all that. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'll get some much needed coffee. Thank you. She's the handler. Like I'm not, with all the person who feels confident to sexually harass minors, who's instigating, trying to instigate threats of violence against me ever since I went to the CPAB meeting with Janet. She's the handler. There's just no way. And then since he has a restraining order, the other guy that came in to attack said minor, I guarantee that she's his handler too. She's a handler. And it needs to stop. Oh, thank you, Tandra. That's so sweet. It keeps happening because Janet Wayland and others, it's not just her, but I know I can call her out with 100% conviction that she's behind a lot of it. She's on their CPAP. She is very connected and sends, she's just so over involved. And I don't know if it's that because she pesters. They even admit they pester and pester and pester, and so they get what they want. They have the connection. She was friends with the former, head of this commission. And she's a very diabolical person. And she's influencing the people that are supposed to be doing this for us. But instead they're doing it for Scientology. Oh yeah, I mean, she knows. I have more to say about all this stuff later. It's just been so overwhelming, but I've pieced it all together, because I never said boo to that person, but like minutes or hours after confronting Janet at CPAB, all of a sudden, like, it's a warpath. That's fine, that's just a paid actor. It's like, I don't. That is what it is. It's the handler. It's her. She's going to have to deal with it now because messing with the wrong people. Yeah, they do. I found out I'm going to be posting it. She sends like e-cards, and it's just she's not a minister, people. She comes off like she's the minister. She's not. She's freaking like second. Like I heard she's second under like David Miscavige. And I feel like telling him, David Miscavige, Janet is the reason we're here mentioning your name. If it wasn't for Janet, your name would be out of it. Put her in the RPF. Get rid of her somehow, whatever. Remove her, because that's why your name is coming up. Because I have to let them know she's one under you, sir. And I use that term very loosely. But she's the reason. It is Janet. And Janet had the audacity to come after me, and I'm not putting up with it. Yes, I agree, Tandra. So I don't know if he's listening. I know he's not listening, but she is. I guarantee it, she's watching. Could be a lot more. We don't know how much. Oh yeah, no, she's going to federal prison for sure. You know what? She's going to sit in the RPF until all the federal indictments come in. And they're coming, Janet. Do you understand me, Janet, from another planet? They are coming for you. You sent
coming for you,
your little puppets to the wrong people. She needs to be arrested, but at the very least, she needs to be in the RPF. And if I see her again, Mr. Miscavige, at any CPAB meeting, or public event where there's police, I'm going to hit 10 times harder. I'll step it up. I'm about to like say, if they don't quit it, if they mess with me one more time, you know, I'll drop the LA, because right now I'm just dealing with LA. I'll go federal. I'll make it my life mission to talk to every single Congress and senator and get the freaking IRS thing removed, because I've had it. I'm not going to sit there and be bullied by freaking Janet Wayland. I'm so sick of it. Sorry, guys. I feel very angry. Yeah, where is the separation? Well, you know, because you know what, it's there. Like, I'm very familiar with CPABs. Like, they may have like they do. They have pastors of churches and rabbis and imams, but they're there as themselves. You know what I mean? They're there. Yeah, I'm a pastor of this church. You know, but I'm not there as the church. But Scientology, they make it very clear this is their job. And they're not there as Janet or, you know, whoever. They're there as Scientology. So why does Scientology have a seat at the table? It's just, yes, arrest Janet. Yeah, you know what? I want her arrested. That's my goal. And Mr. Miscavige, if you don't like the fact that your name's coming up, then you should have dealt with Janet. And you know what I want too? Her little minions, I want like full removal and retraction and apologies for everything they posted out there, including the absolutely racist garbage that was said to a minor. That is Janet. That's her. She handles that. They do need a raid. And I'm so angry, like, to the point, like, right. Exactly. It's everything. Right. They represent the church only. They do not represent themselves. Like, that's illegal. Sorry, guys. I feel like maybe I should be over there, but I want to meet with whatever detective he claims. Oh, yeah. Janet? You were the one. Janet did it. Janet Wheeler.
So just to clarify, we were in a recess due to a technical challenge that remains. So for those who didn't hear me before, we only recessed to address the technical issue that we had. Going forward, anybody who comes up to speak today, please turn the mic on. Although you may not be able to hear it throughout the room, they can pick it up on the recording and on channel 35. So we want to make sure everybody does that. I'm going to move on to agenda item number 3, the consent agenda items. Today we have items 3A through O. I'm going to pull item O for discussion. Are there any other items that other commissioners would like to pull? Vice President Shields.
No, O is the only item. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Kalanche? None for you. Okay, Commissioner Garcia?
None others. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So going to agenda of, actually, let's just do this. I would then move that we adopt a recommendation for board action for.
Well, you guys, that sucky doodled. Looks like we got skipped right over. Oh, dag nabbit. Well, at least Audit and Matt got heard. That frickin' sucked.
It was the chief himself that said it, so I'm going to leave for the city. Okay, thank you.
Set the compensation level for the chief of police at an annual salary of $507,000, $507,509, effective upon.
Well, you guys, stuff happens, right? Sorry about that. Okay, well, I'm going to finish my lunch, and I have to get ready for my real job work meeting. thank you for hanging out with me, and at least we got Audit and MD Media to talk. So I'm going to go ahead and stop streaming. We'll let Audit haul out of there. Thank you guys. Loves ya. Talk to you later.